got in here kind of early this morning, and but it took a while to do everything I had to do. I had to get my four-wheeler. I got it staged here. I had to get it and take the tarp off of it, get it cranked up. It was 35 degrees this morning. It was a little cold starting. I got it started up, put all my saddle hunting stuff in my bag in the back bin back there, and I rode as far as I wanted to. I got to where the hills drop off down into the hardwood bottom where they did all the select cut, and I parked my wheeler there, loaded up my saddle hunting pack, and I walked in here. This is about the extreme distance I can hunt from where I park at. I don't hunt any further back than this, so had to pick my way through. By the time I got to the tree and got up in the tree, it was 7 o'clock. Shooting light is 6:32 or something like that, so it was a little after shooting light, but I don't worry about that too much. I don't have to use a light walking in, and bucks usually move later anyway. So anyway, I got in the tree at 7. Didn't see anything. Wind's out of the south. I'm set up perfect for what I'm covering, which is that fresh cutover, and looking at some skidder lanes and by a thicket or two. And 9 o'clock, I ate my granola bar. I finished it, checked my watch, and it was 9:07. In less than 5 minutes, I saw some movement about 120 yards down one of the skidder lanes through the woods, and then it stepped out in the skidder lane. I saw it was this buck right here, and he stood there a little while, and he just started walking my way, and he got probably, I'd grunted to him. I got my grunt tube out and I grunted to him, and he started walking my way, and he stopped about 100 yards. I had the crosshairs on him, and he turned broadside looking north. Looking north. I was looking at him south, and he turned broadside looking north, showing me his right side, and I started to shoot him. It was a little far, and I said, well, maybe he'll come a little closer. Well, he walked behind a bunch of cover, a big old thick gnarly stuff in there. You couldn't see through it, and I just started kicking myself then. I said, I've already passed on 2 shooter bucks this year. It wasn't quite as big as I wanted them to be, but one of them was about like this one right here. It might even be him, I don't know. But I passed on it, and so I said, I just not going to kill a deer if I don't start shooting. So anyway, time racked on a little bit, and a couple of minutes went by, and I said, well, I'm going to grunt again. So I did a couple more grunts, and probably about 5 or 10 minutes later, I looked off to the right in the direction he went that I couldn't see through, and I seen some movement, and it was him, and he was picking his way toward me. Instead of coming down the skidder lane, he'd moved over and was coming through that thicket. I guess he felt a little more protected coming through that thicket. And he got about 80 yards, and I wasn't going to take a chance on him. I had a little old hole through all that stuff, and I took my shot, and my gun misfired. The shell misfired. It didn't shoot. And it don't take nothing to break it down. Just break it down. So I broke it down. Got the misfire bullet out. Reached in my pocket real quick, like. Pulled out another bullet, inserted it, and got ready. By that time, he was continuing toward me, and he broke clear about probably 30, 35 yards, something like that. I put the crosshairs on his shoulder and shot real quick. And when I shot, he exploded. It's like somebody kicked him in the butt or something other, and he turned and run straight toward me, and he had a slew of water there, probably about 30, 40 yards long, a little pothole of water there, and he hit that water, come up out of it, and started running due southeast and straight away from him. He passed within 5 steps under my tree, going away from him, running like his tail was on fire. And so I just watched him till he went out of sight, and I said, well, it looked like I missed him. I thought I'd missed him, and I just couldn't believe I'd missed a deer with a rifle at 30, 35 yards up. But anyway, I shot him at 9:25, and I stayed up for a little over an hour. 9:30 I started getting down, and I looked for blood. There wasn't any blood at all, and until I got about 100 yards out there where I'd last seen him, and I was walking looking. I knew pretty much where he'd ran, and I saw something glistening on the ground. I looked, and it was one little old tiny shiny speck of blood. In fact, it looked like the leaf was colored red like that, but I got it in my hand, and I did like that, and I got blood on my thumb and my forefinger, and I said, well, I hit him. I knew I hit him then. So I only continued on about another 30 yards, and I hit a creek. And that creek, where I does it, it made a big curve, and it went straight away, and it makes another curve and comes back like this and goes on out. It's like a dog tail in here of land where it circles around. And I got to the creek and I followed the creek down the end of it, and then I got out in this stuff behind me and started walking, searching for him. And I come in from that way, and I seen his back straight behind this little opening, and I seen his white belly shining from about 25-30 yards. And I said, well, there he is. All in all, I hadn't stepped it off. I'll probably try to step it off now when I go back to my tree, but he probably went 150 yards, maybe 160. I'll know later on. And what I got now, my saddle bag that I carry all my stuff in is pretty much full. I could pack a lot of it and quart them up and put it in it, but I got my four-wheeler stashed halfway between here and the truck. So I think I'm gonna walk back to my four-wheeler and bring all my gear back, and then get my Alice pack, put all that stuff in the truck, get my Alice pack, and come back here and quart him and put him in it, and I'll be done. Then have to pack him out. So I'm old and wore out. It's not as easy for me to pack them like it used to be, but I got all the rest of the day. And right now it's 11:41, so I got plenty of time. So that's what I'm gonna do.